What's up, everybody? Welcome to this special edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, usually coming at you 3 days a week over the digital airwaves of YouTube and iHeartRadio. As always, I'd like to thank my subscribers and followers for contributing to the show. Keep it coming, and I'm going to keep on coming. I consider this a special edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show because I'm about to have a conversation with somebody that I've been wanting to talk to for a while. And it's not really just about him. It's about who he is and what he represents. He's the coach of the Los Angeles Clippers. His name is Tyronn Lue. He's universally recognized one of the best coaches in basketball. He just finished being an assistant coach on Team USA and helping them capture a gold medal. He's a champion coaching LeBron James in Cleveland to his only championship and helping to erase a 52-year curse in that city. From championships. He's done a lot in his career. I find myself looking at him and thinking about him and saying to myself, I love me some Steve Ballmer, the owner of the Clippers. I root for the Clippers, hoping that they'll achieve a level of success that validates their existence per se. But I got to tell you, there's two things that come to my mind when it comes to Tyronn Lue. Number one, why the hell was he not the head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers all of these years? And number two, why the hell would you want to stay with the Clippers with Kawhi Leonard as your resident star? I think those are legitimate questions to ask. I think they're necessary because I think it provides insight into who Tyronn Lue is, what he's been about, and what he's trying to make the Clippers all about. Again, one of the best coaches in the NBA, Tyronn Lue. Up next with your boy, Stephen A., right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Be right back at you. Okay, everybody, you know what time it is, right? It's time for Stephen A. Sports Picks. Everybody already knows I live and breathe sports all the time. But if you're like me, you need to be right there in the middle of all the action. So how do you solve that problem? I'll tell you how. You use Prize Picks. That's how. You see, Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in all the land with over 3 million members, okay? With Prize Picks, you just choose 2, 3, or even up to 6 of your favorite players and then pick more or less on their projected stats for the game. Choose all the players you love to watch. Jalen Hurts, Klay Thompson, even Cooper Kupp, all in the same entry. And get this, sign up with code SAS and Prize Picks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't need to win your lineup to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. All you have to do is play a $5 lineup on Prize Picks and you'll get $50 instantly. Now, let's look at my winning picks. Today, I'm picking for this weekend's NFL games. First up, Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes facing the Los Angeles Chargers, more or less than 260.5 passing yards. It's Patrick Mahomes, y'all. It's Patrick Mahomes. I know that the Chargers are improved. I know they're winning football games. I know Jim Harbaugh is doing this thing. I know their defense is nothing too shabby to sneeze at or whatever the case may be. But it's Patrick Mahomes. I'll be damned if I'm going with less when it comes to him. Of course I'm going with more. More for Patrick Mahomes. Next up, Steelers quarterback Russell Wilson facing the Cleveland Browns defense, more or less than 232.5 yards passing. Look, I just saw Russell Wilson throw for over 400 yards, albeit against the Cincinnati Bengals defense. Can't stop a cold, particularly in the red zone. I get that part. I watched the Cleveland Browns lose on Monday night to the Denver Broncos. Even though they gave up 41, I mean, damn, Jameis Winston as the quarterback gave up 14 by his damn self, okay? That's what the problem was. Wasn't their fault, all right? But still, when you're talking about this, I just have to say I have to go with more, all right? You're going up against Cleveland. It's got to be more than 232.5 passing yards, right? Finally, Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Baker Mayfield playing the Las Vegas Raiders, more or less than 238.5 passing yards. First of all, you're going to snap the ball. Is the quarterback going to remember Aiden O'Connell? Is he going to remember to catch the ball when it's snapped to him? Is he going to remember the fact that he's playing the quarterback position and the ball actually gets snapped to you and you got to pay attention and make sure you catch the damn ball so you can drop back the pass and throw the damn football? Is he going to remember that? That's a legitimate question. Has nothing to do with this particular answer, though. Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay going against Las Vegas Raiders defense, I'm going to go with more because they're just better and they'll find a way to be better and they'll have more. So we're going to go with more. Let's go and review it all together, all right? Patrick Mahomes, more. Russell Wilson, more. Baker Mayfield, more. More. I believe all three of these teams going to win, by the way. That's just how it goes when you're on Prize Picks. More usually equates to wins, not just yards. And that means money. You feel me? He is a champion. He's also one of the greatest coaches in the game today. He is the head coach for the Los Angeles Clippers. His name is Mr. Tyronn Lue. What's going on, Coach? How you doing, man? How's everything?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm trying to figure it out, Coach. I'm really trying to figure it out. How the hell, at the time of this recording, y'all are 4 games over 500. You're 13-9 on the season. You had a recent 5-game winning streak, won 7 of your last 9. How the hell have you been doing it?
Well, it's been a combination of a lot of things. First of all, our coaching staff. Our coaching staff is great. You know, adding Jeff Van Gundy, but the helps of Brian Shaw, Larry Drew, Jay Larranaga, Brendan O'Connor, you know, Jeremy Castleberry, Dante Jones, Cookie, Chris Hogan, you know, a lot of guys just, you know, staying the course, understand that Kawhi's going to be out for a while, but just giving our guys confidence, giving our young guys confidence. And I give a lot of credit to our players. Like, we don't care who's on the floor. We think we got a chance to win every single night. And so that's our mindset. That's been our model for the last 5 years. And I give credit to, like I said, my coaching staff as well as our players.
Tell me what Jeff Van Gundy being added to that coaching staff has done for you guys, because just speaking league-wide, we all know what a great basketball mind he is, what an outstanding coach he was in New York and Houston as a head coach, an assistant under Pat Riley for all of those years prior to that, came to ESPN and ABC, did an outstanding job calling games for us. I still miss Jeff Van Gundy a whole lot. What has he meant to your coaching staff, and why specifically? What has he brought to the table?
He's brought an edge. You know, he's brought an edge, Stephen A., to our team defensively, no nonsense. And, you know, he's not happy unless he's mad, you know. So, you know, he never wants to smile, but I get him to crack a few smiles here and there. But just his attention to detail, I think the way he loves it, like he's passionate about his job. And so when a team scores 115 points, I mean, he's in the office, you know, all night, probably doesn't even go home. And so I pride myself on getting to the office early and trying to be there early. And I get in at 7:30, 8 o'clock. He's been there since 5:30, you know, and that's just like when he raised your level for his coaching, for our other coaches to see that, to see he's in the office at 5:30, working every single day, every single night to get better. And so our young coaches can see that, they can grow from that as well. And so he just brought a no nonsense, you know, a edge, you know, a tough edge to us and to our team, which has been great, and we definitely needed that.
Well, I guess they need a double whammy of it, because as far as I'm concerned, everything you just said, that's how people would describe you. No nonsense. You're detailed-oriented, no nonsense. Know what the hell you're doing. You prioritize defense as well. Obviously, your record speaks for itself. So basically, you got your twin on your coaching staff. Is that a fair thing to say?
No, now it's got to be good cop, bad cop.
I got you.
Yeah, I'm detailed, but I like to be, you know, have fun. I like for the environment to be relaxed, but also doing things the right way. And so I give a lot of credit to our veterans, but, you know, one specifically is James Harden. Like, he's been great, you know, through training camp, through just helping our young guys get better, teaching them how to work every single day, plan every single day. And he's been phenomenal for us all year, as well as Norman Powell and, you know, Nick Batum and our veteran guys. So it's been a great environment.
Powell has been a starter for you this year. He's lucky, you know, always coming off the bench throughout his career. But the brother's shooting 49% from the field, 49% from three-point range. I don't think you anticipated that, but obviously you expected him to be effective. It seems to be a challenge that he has embraced. Talk about what that has meant to the team in terms of Norman Powell's contribution.
You know, with Norm, he's always been a really good player, you know, but with our circumstances with, you know, PG and Kawhi starting at the 2 and 3, he didn't have an opportunity to start and play as many minutes as he wanted to, but he's always been a talent. And I tell you, Stephen, that he works so hard, you know, every single day. And I think, you know, he's 30 now, so working the way he works, I think sometimes is too much, but he's a hard worker. He puts work in every single day. And I'm just happy and thankful he got the opportunity. He's taking advantage of it, as well as, Zubac, who's been really good for us this year as well.
Listen, you've always been protective of your players. You're a class act. You should be. The role that I play, I don't have to worry about such things like that. I got to call balls and strikes like I see it per se. And we all know, and all of y'all have checked me from time to time, as you rightfully should, when I've gotten on Kawhi Leonard. I certainly have never accused him of faking injuries. I know his injuries are legitimate, but I find myself so frustrated because when this dude is on the court, he is one of the top 5 elite players in the game, but he's almost never available, especially for you in the postseason. Could you put into your own words how frustrating, if at all, that has been for you as a coach who's coached in championship series, who's won a championship, who knows what it takes to win championships? What has that been like for you, having to deal with your superstar player almost never available when it counts?
Well, first off, I just want to just let people know, from Kawhi's standpoint, like for him, it's more frustrating. Like he wants to be on the floor, like he wants to play every single night. And it just, it's just a bad timing. Like, it's not like he said, okay, we get to the playoffs, I don't want to play. Like it's been some tough days, some tough nights. And, I've talked to Kawhi nights where he's, almost cried just talking about, how he's let the team down, but you can't do anything about injuries. And he's another guy that works extremely hard every single day to be on the floor, to be on the court. And it's just some, unfortunate luck. I mean, like you said, I heard you say one day he has 35 and the next day he doesn't play, but it's not by design. Like, I mean, this guy works hard every single day, Stephen A., in the weight room, on the court, on his game, everything, every single day. And it's just sad for me because, like, I see the work he puts in, our players see the work he puts in, our organization sees it, and then when it's time to play, he can't go. And a lot of times, like it's myself or it's our organization, like, hey, listen, Kawhi, you like 40%. Like you can't go out there on the floor because you're gonna make it even worse. And so that's what I want to say, first of all. Like Kawhi is a hell of a worker, he's a hard worker. And like you say, the top 5 player when he's healthy. And he's been unfortunate, with the injury bug, but it's not from a lack of work and it's not from a lack of wanting to be on the floor. For me, I just know, like I said, if I had PG, Kawhi, like I said, and James in the playoffs, or even before James got there, I think I could win at a high level. That's the pressure that I put on myself. That's the staff that our staff puts on ourselves. That if we'd have been healthy, I think we could win at a high level. And just we haven't had that opportunity. So, hopefully this year, like I said, he's been working really hard. He's getting close. He's been doing everything he needs to do. So hopefully this year, like we can have a strong, deep run when he comes back. But it's been very, very unfortunate, like I said, because I do want to see, like, when we're fully healthy, what we could have done, what we could have been.
Well, that's what my frustration has been like for you. I mean, you're a champion as a player with the Lakers. You're a champion as a coach with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, your reputation and your resume speaks for itself. And there's been times where you've literally reached out to me and told me to calm the hell down. You were kind of about it. But that's what you told me because I was sitting up there. Man, he should leave the Clippers. I mean, why the hell should he stay? Because, damn it, he can't coach the team that he wants to coach because they're never available. What has your level of frustration been like, knowing what you can do, knowing what you have done, but also knowing that you don't have the pieces you're supposed to have to legitimately position yourself for an NBA championship?
Yeah, it's frustrating because I want to win. Like, that's my main goal. And our video coordinator, Fitz, he said one thing about T. Lue, he doesn't care about feelings. He wants to win tonight. So we'll take care of tomorrow. And so for me, it's always about winning and putting yourself in position to win. And, another thing like Kawhi, like, to me, Stephen A., you are the best. And it's just like, okay, say you lost your voice.
Right.
Would you want to quit? Would you want to quit doing it? Or are you going to try to wait to come back and keep coming back and keep coming back?
Fair.
And that's kind of like, situation Kawhi's there. Like, why would he quit? He's still young. He's still at the top of the game when he plays. And it's just unfortunate luck. But he's doing everything he can to get back on the floor.
Was I wrong when I went ballistic this summer, when I heard that he was going to try to join Team USA and I almost lost, I almost had a heart attack? They're like, oh, no, you've been hurt during the regular season. You got to make sure you're ready for the Clippers. The hell with Team USA. They can get gold without you. Was I wrong for feeling that way towards Lawrence Frank and Steve Ballmer and saying the hell with all of that Team USA stuff? You need him with the healthy for the upcoming Clippers season.
Yeah, I think so. I think because, when players have goals in mind, and like he was feeling good, but also it was a good thing for us because, when he left Team USA and, he started to see that he wasn't where he wanted to be, then we was able to go back and reevaluate because we thought he was further along than he was. I thought at USA he had some really good days, and so after USA was over, he continued to go back and work out, and then we saw certain things that wasn't good, and so we was able to catch it early on, and we started the process earlier, and so it actually was really good for us. It was a blessing in disguise, really, but it's something that Kawhi wanted to do. He's tired of being, not playing because he wants to compete. This was a chance for him to compete on a high level. And so he wanted to be a part of that to get his name back out there going into next season. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out.
How you feel about Paul George being gone?
We miss PG. Like when you lose a talent like PG that can score the basketball, that can guard, 5 different positions on the floor, that's a tough loss, And so I know he had to do what's best for him and for his family as far as the 4th year and getting the max, and who could turn down the extra $70 million, especially going to the final stages of your career. So I understood that, but it's hard. I wanted to win a championship for Mr. Ballmer and Lawrence Frank and for the Clippers organization, and I wanted PG and Kawhi to be a part of it because they're from LA and to come to the Clippers instead of going to the Lakers. I thought it was huge. It was huge for the Clippers. It was huge for the Clippers following and fan support that they wanted to come to the Clippers and win a championship. And so I thought we could have stayed healthy. I thought we had a real strong shot at doing that. And unfortunately, we just never could. But, losing PG, that's a big loss when you lose a player like of his caliber. That is hard.
What's the thought that you have in your mind when people will come at a Tyronn Lue or Steve Ballmer or anybody else and say, you know what, if you had to choose between a PG and a Kawhi Leonard, PG is the one you should have taken because even though he's injury prone himself, the bottom line is that it doesn't appear to be as severe as of a situation as it has been with Kawhi Leonard, that you might have invested in the wrong superstar because in terms strictly in regards to injury or availability. What do you say to that?
No, I don't believe that. I mean, like I said, Kawhi, when he's healthy, like he's on the floor, he's a top 5 talent, And PG, like I said, he's a top 10, 15 talent. But, both of those guys have had their share of injuries. And it's like I said, it's not from the lack of working hard or wanting to be on the floor or putting the work in. It's just from a lack of, like I said, bad luck. And so if you have a chance to get, Kawhi Leonard, who's a top 5 player in the NBA, you can't let that go. And you just got to have prayers and hopes that, one day finally he's going to be able to sustain and play a whole season and get through the playoffs, which hasn't been the case. But, I don't think we made the wrong decision at all.
When you look at the Western Conference and you look at your team right now, obviously if the playoffs were to begin today at the time of this taping, y'all are the 7th seed. Lakers are 12-8 at the time. Y'all are 13-9. They're a 6th seed. You would be a 7th seed. You'd be in the play-in tournament or what have you. How good should we anticipate this particular Clippers squad is going to be?
With Kawhi coming back?
Am I to hold on to him coming back, Tyronn Lue?
He's coming back. He's coming back.
Am I to hold on to that, Tyronn Lue?
Yes, hold on to it. Yes, sir.
When is he coming back? When's he coming back?
We don't have a timetable, but I guarantee you he'll be back. I guarantee that. Like Chuck says, I guarantee.
Oh my Lord! Now every time Chuck, as in Charles Barkley says that 90% of the time his ass is wrong. You know that, right?
We're taking the 10%.
We're taking the 10%. We're taking the 10%. All right. So what's the expectation for the Clippers this season?
Just holding the fort down till Kawhi gets back, and then I expect us to be a playoff team. And when we get to the playoffs, like I said, it could be a lower seed, so you're gonna have to face, the OKCs or the Denver Nuggets or those top teams in the West because, with our best player being out, we just got to try to stay afloat. But once we get to the playoffs and we're able to put our schemes in and do different things, I like our chances. So we just got to continue to just, stay right there in that, 5, 6, 7, 8 spot until Kawhi gets back, making sure we're in the play-in at worst, and then just going from there. But I think we can make a strong run with the additions of, Derrick Jones Jr., Chris Dunn, getting Nick Batum back, Mo Bamba, Kevin Porter. We're really good defensively. And, you add Kawhi to that defensively, we're really, really good. So I like our chances. We really been struggling to score the basketball at times, when you're missing your best player and the system's mostly built around a player like Kawhi. It could get tough offensively, but I don't fault our guys. We scrap and compete every single night, Stephen A., and that's all you can ask for from a young team, from a team that just, scraps to find a way to try to win games.
I got to step back and give James Harden some love, but still ask a relatively intriguing question. I think about James Harden, and, he's taken hits from myself, but many, many others, the way he departed from Houston, the way he departed from Philadelphia, ultimately the way he departed from Brooklyn, right? And he was taking hits, but I was saying to folks, for the most part, this guy has always been somebody you could rely on. He wanted to play. He's not looking for time off and stuff like that. So obviously certain situations, he feels the way that he feels about Daryl Morey. He put that out there along with certain situations that happen. In the end, when I look at him with the Clippers now, averaging about 35 minutes a game, hasn't missed a game, okay? I think he's averaging about 22, 23, 22 a game. Did you expect this from James Harden?
I did. I did. I just saw when he came in last year and how he finished the last half of the season. I knew he could do it. I mean, he's done it for years. Like you said, in Houston, carrying teams, making guys better, getting wins. And he's done the same thing this year. Like I said, I know he's older, but he still has the mindset to be great and still has the mindset to make guys better. And like you said, he plays every night. He practices every night. And he's another guy like Norm. Like, we think he does too much, as far as working on his game. Like after shoot around, he's there for an hour. After practice, he's there for an hour, working on his game. But that's what's gotten him here so far. So you can't be mad at that. But I mean, he's an exceptional talent. He's a hard worker. And like you said, every single night, he wants to play.
How do you feel about being in your new arena, the Intuit Dome? I like it a lot. It's definitely upscale. I love the fact that y'all got your own home instead of sharing the Crypto.com arena with the Los Angeles Lakers. How y'all feeling about that?
I feel great. I think it's a place to call home. I think Mr. Ballmer from day one, when he first took over the team, said that he wanted to get us our own home and own arena. And this is the best arena I've ever been in, basketball-wise. And, for our fans to come to a place where it's our home, for our players to be able to leave their shoes and leave their, their bags and stuff in the locker room, because, you're coming back to your own locker room. You ain't got to worry about concerts being held and, your lockers are wrapped up. I come into my office, my tables, chairs on top of my tables and everything, because somebody's held a concert there. So they use the locker room to kind of get through. And so it feels really good, man. It's just a place to call home. It's been great.
How are you feeling about yourself? 5 years, $70 million deal in May, well-deserved. I actually thought you should have got paid more. I thought they got you for a bargain. That's my personal opinion, okay? Because that's how I felt about it. I was on the record stating that. But nevertheless, it's a pretty hefty salary. It's well-deserved. I have to ask you, though, how are you feeling about your place in the game at this particular moment in time, considering the fact there's no Paul George, there's no Kawhi, there's minimal expectations for the Los Angeles Clippers, and you're not accustomed to being associated with that. Usually wherever you are, there's huge expectations. That's not necessarily the case right now.
Yeah, it was the case for me. Like, I think this is a chance for me to try to show how good I can be, along with my staff, as far as Kawhi being out, Norman Powell missing 6 of the 21 games, and still having a chance to make the playoffs and make some noise in the playoffs. And so these are some of your opportunities where you can try to, show people like your coaching ability and things that you can do. So, I put the pressure on myself to be good and to make the playoffs. And when we get to the playoffs, that's a different animal and a different beast, and that's where I excel. So for me, I put the pressure on myself no matter who's on the floor, so who's out, who left, or whatever. And we just got to be, locked in and understand what we're trying to do. And so no matter who's on my team, I never say the pressure's not on me, because I want the pressure on me.
Do you consider yourself one of the best coaches in the NBA? Mm-hmm. How long have you felt that way about yourself?
I think let's go all the way back to Cleveland.
Okay.
I would say, when Coach David Black got fired and they wanted me to take over, I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. I didn't, our locker room, was in disarray. We wasn't really getting along as good as we wanted to. And so when you had to move over, like I said, those 6 inches, it was hard. And I was scared, and like I said, if it wasn't for Jerry West and Doc Rivers telling me that I had to take that job, I don't know if I would have done it. The reason why I didn't sign the extension when I took over, because I was like, listen, if this doesn't work out, I'm going somewhere else, So I wasn't going to be just, locked into Cleveland, because it was scary. You coaching LeBron James, the best player in the world, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, and, David Blatt had already went to the NBA Finals the year before.
Right.
So if I don't get to at least Game 7 of the NBA Finals,
Right.
I was a bust, and so it was a lot of pressure, and so I think, when I took over, I sat down with Kyrie, Kevin Love, and LeBron. I said, listen, these are things we got to change. These are things we got to get better at. And you got to hold responsibility for what we're trying to do. And they said, listen, T. Lue, whatever you want to do, we're 100% on board, and we're fully committed. And so that made it a lot easier. But, winning that championship, it wasn't easy, and I had I put in a lot of work. Our coach put in a lot of work. But when you have, LeBron James, who's the best player in the world, he's going to get, most of the credit, which he deserves and which he should. And so I think when I got to the Clippers and had a chance to kind of, put my own, staple on the Clippers and what we wanted to do, I think that's when I kind of knew, like, okay, like not having the best player in the world, LeBron's gone, to come into a situation now where I got to make these guys champions or winners. And, I thought that was like the first year when I got to the Clippers, I thought, okay, I really took that step to be like knowing myself personally, okay, like you are one of the best. And, there's a lot of great coaches out there, not to take anything away from anybody else, but what we got to go through from a year-to-year basis, I think, I am one of the best coaches in the league.
Do you believe that LeBron and Kyrie together would have won another championship had they ever stayed together?
No question, no doubt. It did become harder, once Golden State acquired,
yes,
Kevin
KD.
That
kind of got in the way.
Yeah. Once they got KD, that was tough, but I thought, after we won the championship in 2016, I thought we kind of had the blueprint, how we wanted to attack Golden State, how we wanted to guard and defend them. And like I said, they are a great team. And Steve Kerr, like I said, one of the top coaches in the NBA as well, so it's going to be a tough task, but we thought we figured out, like, after game 2 in 2016, we figured out like how we wanted to guard them, how we wanted to defend them. And, I thought definitely, Kyrie and LeBron would have won more championships for sure.
I got to ask you this question too, because you were supposed to be the damn coach of the Los Angeles Lakers before you ever went to the Clippers. I didn't forget that. What the hell happened, Tyronn Lue? How did the Lakers mess that up where they didn't get you as their coach? How did they mess that up?
I think, like you said, the respect level of, where I came from and knowing LeBron was on our team. And so, yeah, you automatically think, oh, well, LeBron James did everything, which he did a lot, but I don't think they had the same respect for me as I felt they should. Now, they offered me the job on a 3-year basis, and they wanted to pick my coaching staff, and I just wasn't going to do that. And I think more so for me to be a championship coach, to take a 3-year deal when everyone else is getting 5-year deals and more money, and then you want to pick my staff as well. I just thought that was, a slap in the face. And I think, as a young black head coach, I just thought it was a bad example I was setting for other guys coming up, after me. And then, last thing, me, Steven, I'm a loyal person, and so for me to take the job and leave my guys behind in Cleveland with no job, they were going to be out of the league and wasn't going to be able to take those guys with me. I just felt that was, it was tough for me to do, to leave my guys behind. And so, like I said, Lakers didn't do anything wrong. Like you said, they offered me the job. They chose me to do it, and it was up to me to take the deal. And I just said, I respectfully declined, and so, I love my relationship with Lawrence Frank, Mark Hughes, and Trent Redden. I love my relationship with Mr. Ballmer, which has been great. And so really for me, like I said, it was a blessing in disguise because I have built some great relationships coming to the Clippers. And so I'm happy to be here.
What about the notion that LeBron could have done more because he is LeBron James, greatest player in the world, champion, 4-time champion, or 3-time champion at the time before he won with the Lakers in a lockout shortened season, that somebody with his cachet, his power, his influence could have done more to ensure that the Lakers may have given you a 5-year deal?
And he did. And he called me twice.
Right.
And I said, yeah, he called me twice. What do I got to do? You want this? I said, no, I want them to respect me. I don't want to have to go to you to get my deal done. If they don't respect me like I should be respected, then it's okay. Like, he was pissed off. He was mad about it. But him and Rich Paul both stepped up and said, what we got to do to get it done. And I just didn't, I didn't like the way it was handled. And so give Ron credit. Him and Rich Paul both stepped up. Numerous amount of phone calls to try to get it done. And once it came to me in that regard, I was just like, you know what? Now I'm just going to sit out and wait for another opportunity.
So it's fair to say that you enjoy beating up on the Lakers more so than you enjoy beating up on most teams?
No, I just like to win. I just like to win. Like I said,
Right.
Lakers where it all started for me. And I have a great respect for Jeannie Buss and, Dr. Buss and, Jerry West, Mitch Kupchak, those who gave me my opportunity to be there. And so I will always love the Lakers. I have no hate for them. It was my first opportunity, won 2 championships there. Probably the best time of my life for playing basketball, and so I have no disrespect or ill will towards the Lakers at all. When we play, of course I want to win. That's whoever we play, but they gave me my first shot, and I will always, like I said, have love and respect for the Lakers.
You were an assistant coach on Team USA. That experience over the summer, before I let you get on out of here, I mean, listen, I heard a lot of stories. I wasn't in Paris, but I heard a lot of stories about how Jayson Tatum was struggling and what have you. But I was all over Steve Kerr because I'm like, how do you not find time for an all NBA player the last 3 years who's a champion a month earlier, and in 2 games you can't find a couple of minutes for this dude? Was I wrong about that, Tyronn Lue? Was I wrong about bringing that up, man?
No, you wasn't wrong. I mean, like you said, when you have a player like Jayson Tatum, the caliber player that he is, 3-time, all NBA, an NBA champion. I think he's been to 2 NBA finals. I think 5 Eastern Conference finals. And so when you have a caliber player like he is, it does seem tough. And he's my little cousin, so I had to take him the news and help him deal with the situation because, like you said, when you get on that stage, you want to play and show who you are and represent your country at a high level. And it was unfortunate that 2 games it didn't work out that way. So, but I do like the way JT handled himself. I think he handled himself as a professional. I think he did all the right things. As tough as the situation may have been, I thought he did the right thing in the way he handled the situation.
I tell you this much. I think that when it comes to who the next coach is going to be, because Steve Kerr's not going to be doing this anymore in 2028, to me, there's only 2 choices, is you or Eric Spoelstra. Have you thought about that at all? And what's your aspiration when it comes to coaching Team USA?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it, a lot. And, Spo's a hell of a coach, and that's another guy that I regard as one of the top coaches in the NBA.
He is.
And just for me, Steve Kerr, Spo, and Mark Few to be in the same room together. I mean, for me, it was like being in heaven. Just being able to pick their brains, understanding how they do certain things, different ways for me to get better. Like for me, I always want to grow and get better, every single year.
Right.
And I learned a lot over the last 2 seasons, just being in a room with those other 3 guys. And so, it's a great honor to represent your country. Me growing up in the park, like you always want to be a player, but I wasn't good enough to be a player on the USA team. So being able to coach and represent our country in any way possible, that's a blessing. And so, I know I've talked to Grant Hill, we talked to Steve Kerr and Spo. And so when that opportunity comes, like I said, I would be very, very happy to accept that. So we'll see what happens.
I completely support you or Eric Spoelstra as the next head coach for Team USA, as long as y'all can assure me that Kawhi Leonard won't be on the team. He'll be playing for the Clippers, all right? Not Team USA, he'll be playing for the Clippers. We ain't having that team. We ain't having that time. We just ain't having it.
He'd be too old to play there.
That damn right. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to be even thinking about this. I can't believe he even tried this time around. But anyway, before I let you get on out of here, when you look at the Western Conference, I mean, we saw Dallas come out of the West last year. I know you're limited in what you can say about an opposing team, but in terms of competition, when you scour the Western Conference right now, I'm looking at the Phoenix Suns as a sleeper. I'm looking at them more so than anybody else. Can't ignore Sacramento. Denver seems to have taken a step back a touch. Oklahoma City can't be ignored. The Lakers are up and down, et cetera, et cetera. Where do you see you guys in that picture when you talk about supremacy within the Western Conference? And who do you worry about most? Who do you find yourself worried about most?
I find myself worrying about every team you just named. But, a team that, people are sleeping on that, not talking a lot about is Memphis, with Ja being back healthy, with Bane being back healthy.
Won 6 straight,
Jackson, Yeah, Jaren Jackson playing at the elite level, and Taylor Jenkins is a special coach, man. It's really good. And so, I think they're a sleeper. With them being healthy, they're a tough team. Golden State's always a tough team because of, Steve Kerr and Steph and Draymond and just that everything they built, in Golden State. And then OKC, I mean, they're tough to handle, man. I mean, Shea, like I said, playing the MVP level. Coach Mark, the things he's done to implement his system to get the young guys to buy into what they're doing every single night, I think that's been very impressive. And then you got, Denver Nuggets, who has the MVP. He don't want MVP, 10 times? I mean, you got the Joker, Jamal Murray, Mike Malone, who's a really good coach as well. And so every night, like, it's going to be hard. Even like you got San Antonio Spurs, Mitch has done a great job taking over for Pop. And, hopefully Pop gets well.
Hopefully he gets well. God bless him.
Game, yeah. But Mitch has stepped in and done a great job as well. So there's a lot of good teams, Sacramento, like you said. And then the one that I'm, the most scared of when they get together and when they're healthy is the Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant, Bradley
Budenholzer there making a difference.
Yeah, Budenholzer made a big difference. And then the Lakers, AD and Bron, Austin Reeves and, D'Lo, and they have a lot of talent. So the West is tough, man. And so every night, you got to fight and scratch and claw to try to win games. But we get healthy, we get Kawhi back. I do love our chances.
You got Kawhi with y'all in the Eastern Conference. You got Embiid and Paul George out. Not that he was talking about these guys, but I recently saw comments by James Worthy looking at today's generation of players, or today's game, not the players themselves, but really the quality of the game itself. And he implied, if not flat out said, that it's a bit soft compared to back in the old days. What are your thoughts about that as somebody that played in the 90s and into the early and into 2000s and beyond compared to what you're seeing now?
Yeah, I wouldn't say soft, but definitely different. When I came into the league in 1998, it was a lockout season. And so we played 50 games and we played back to back to back. We played 3 games in a row. And nobody ever complained. Nobody ever set out. And it just wasn't a thought. And so now the game is different. The game has changed. And so you got to kind of follow the blueprint that's been set, and so, when guys have certain injuries or guys, we know that, play, a certain amount of games or a certain amount of minutes, it's a history where, okay, after 25 games, if he plays this many minutes, this is when he tends to get, tightness in his hamstring. This is when his knees tend to swell up. And so, we have a great medical staff that kind of puts you in position to understand when guys are in that red zone, and we got to, scale it back a little bit. And so I wouldn't say it's soft. I would just say it's different. I think the way it's structured is different now from when we first came into the league. And so now, for me, it's different. It's like, well, we got to do a better job. So when these guys are 50 years old, they'll be able to walk and not walk like you. I said, I don't care about a walk when they're 50. Get them on the court right
Exactly. That's where I was thinking about it. But Ty Lue, I'm asking, how did it get to this point? Is it because of the owners and the investments that they've made? Is it because of executives, general managers, president of basketball operations trying to protect that investment to validate their existence and their positions? Is it strength and conditioning coaches? Is it doctors? Why has it gotten to this point where you're having these conversations where you're getting advice from people outside of the coaches or even outside of the players talking about they need to sit down, they don't need to play?
I think, we've incorporated these medical staffs. It's been really good, Stephen A. And if you look at back when I came in the league, or even before I came into the league, to now, the longevity of players is extremely higher, and so they're doing something right, Now, I don't know how we can fix it where they play more games or whatever, whatever that may be. But, if you look at, back when I came in or before me, guys wasn't playing 16, 17 years consistent. You do 2 or 3 years and guys were out of the league. And so now guys are able to play longer. They have longer stretches in their career. And so they're doing something right. But like you said, as far as, missing games or missing as many games, if we could try to clean that up, it would be a lot better. But they're doing something right. We just got to come to a great balance.
Very last question. What would you define as success for the Los Angeles Clippers for the 2024-25 season if Kawhi Leonard doesn't come back?
At least conference finals.
Conference finals?
Yeah.
Without Kawhi?
No, you said if he comes back.
I said if he doesn't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I said if he doesn't.
Okay. if he doesn't, realistic for us, I think, being that, 6th, 7th AC, being in the play-in, and then fight for a chance to make the playoffs. That's our mindset and that's our goal. We want to make the playoffs. And I think, if Kawhi doesn't come back, we've shown that, we can win games. We've shown that, we have the blueprint defensively, how we want to play every single night. And so for me, like I said, to get into the playoffs and have a chance to play in the playoffs, I think would be a huge, step for our team this year without Kawhi coming back.
If he does come back, conference finals.
That's what I see. That's what I see. That's what I would want to do, make it to the conference finals. A lot of pressure I put on myself. And like I said, it could be tough, it could be hard, but I'm not going to sell myself short.
You shouldn't. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be at conference finals with Kawhi Leonard. I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
What you think?
I ain't going to lie to you. I can't see y'all get to the conference finals. Even with Kawhi, I can see you getting to the semifinals. But right now, bro, I'm looking at Phoenix, and OKC's not going away. OKC's not going away. And when Chet Holmgren comes,
I'm sorry, Stephen, to cut you off too. Ime. Oh my God,
oh, yes.
Ime, the job he's done in Houston.
Oh my God. What a job. What a job. And don't get me started with him because I thought he got hosed in the whole Boston situation. It really pissed me off what they did to him out there, but I ain't going to bring that up. But I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him. He's shown himself to be one hell of a coach. But you are too, no doubt about that. I just hope that you can have a star that you can rely on. All I want is your star to be able to play. That's all I ask. That's all I ask.
He'll be back, Stephen A.
He's coming. I'm holding you that. I'm holding you that. You on camera. You know you saying this on camera, right? He's going to be back.
I'm going to text you the night before he plays.
I know you will. I know you will. Appreciate you, Coach, man. All love, man. All the best to you. We'll talk soon. Happy holidays.
You too. Thank you very much.
One and only Tyronn Lue, Los Angeles Clippers, right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Kawhi Leonard will be back. All right. We'll see. That was some candid stuff from that man, Tyronn Lue, right there. Hopefully, some of his dreams and aspirations will come to fruition. If anybody can pull it off, it's him. I just got to see it to believe it because as long as his perennially injured superstar, Kawhi Leonard, is what he's reliant upon, I can't see it happen. But I sincerely hope that I am wrong. I truly, truly do. That's my take after listening to Tyronn Lue. But I'm sure there are other takes from fans of the NBA about their respective teams and thoughts about the National Basketball Association as Christmas approaches. I'll talk to them next, so stick around and hear what they have to say. You're watching and listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show right here over the digital airwaves of YouTube and iHeartRadio. Back with more in a moment. I want to take a second to make sure you all know that with the NFL in full swing and games being played Thursday night, Sunday night, even Monday night, I could not be more excited. But what's even more exciting is that Prospects wants to help you cash in on all those big-time games. You see, Prospects is a daily fantasy app where you can pick two or more of your favorite players, and then you simply select more or less on the projected stats for the game. Pick a player's passing yards, rushing yards, or total touchdowns. The list is endless. And the good news just keeps coming. Because with Prospects, you can choose from any sport you love to watch. That's basketball, that's baseball, football, hockey, soccer, even MMA, all in the same entry. And now with Prospects Live Squares option, you'll be able to place mid-game picks on full game projections. Just look for a red light indicator on your squares in the app during live games and pick a player's game projection after their game has started. And if you sign up now with code SAS, Prospects will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't need to win your lineup to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. All you have to do is play a $5 lineup on Prospects, and you'll get $50 instantly. Pick more. Pick less. It's really that easy. Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show right here over the digital airwaves of YouTube and, of course, iHeartRadio. Let's get to the calls and the tweets before I get on out of here, okay? First things first. Was it Niger or Najar? You're live with Stephen A. What's going on, man? Nijar?
Nihar.
Hey,
Stephen,
how are you doing? How you doing? Go ahead. What's up?
My question is, I'm from Atlanta, but I'm a huge Celtics fan. I was born in Boston, moved down here a long time ago, but I followed the Celtics my whole life. Obviously, we made it over the hump last year, but we saw a lot of criticism on Jayson Tatum, and rightfully so. You know, he could have stepped up his game a little bit more. But I'm seeing this really hot start he's had to this season, and this seems a little different to me than the previous 7 seasons. I know that a lot of times he started out really, really strong, but he kind of fizzles out like maybe around like December, January, and then he picks it back up near the playoffs. But seeing his really strong start to this season, how dominant the Celtics have been, and just like his numbers have been bigger over the board, do we think that we should take him way more seriously this year when it comes to the MVP conversation? I think he gets disrespected a lot when it comes to that.
Well, first of all, I appreciate the question. You have to take him more seriously because he's a reigning defending NBA champion who followed up winning a championship by receiving the greatest insult of his basketball career, being benched in 2 games by Steve Kerr in Olympic competition and being told it was going to be a struggle to find him playing time ahead of 10 different dudes. This is a first-team All-NBA player the last 3 years and a champion who watched others perform and couldn't even get on the court on a couple of pivotal moments. And so I think he's on a mission, and he's playing like it, and I'm going to give props to him for answering the call the way that he has. He's averaging 28 points on 45% shooting and 37% from three-point range at the time of this call. So I'm going to give love and props to him where it's due, and I hope he finishes as a top candidate for league MVP honors because as much as I respect the hell out of Steve Kerr and the job that he has done in his career, he's an illustrious coach, one of the greatest coaches of all time. I was sickened that he took that position with Jayson Tatum. I don't give a damn who you are. You find a way to give Jayson Tatum some minutes. That's how I view it. I appreciate the call. TJ in Atlanta, you're live with Stephen A. What's up, TJ?
Stephen A.
Talk to me. What's up?
Hey, man. I know your memories of TJ from Atlanta, man. You know I got a question about LeBron and the Lakers. I just want to know what you think the ceiling is for us this year, man. I really want to know. I know LeBron is a slump.
What are you asking me?
I'm asking, what do you think the ceiling for us?
The Lakers?
Yes.
I still think you could get to the semifinals at the very least. If LeBron's slump is not going to last, and AD's AD. My issue is that they can't defend collectively. And J.J. Redick knows it. He pays attention to detail. I think that he's going to do everything that he can, exhausting himself to make sure they're all they could be. But at the end of the day, LeBron is going to be 40 this month. And Anthony Davis, even though we want to say he's in the prime of his career, he's got some mileage on that body. And you need other cats to step up. You know what I'm really bothered by? This cat Vanderbilt. When the hell are you going to get on the court? What happened to him? How the hell are you out this long with these injuries? What are you doing that you can't find yourself out on the basketball court? On the basketball court? Was he in a coma or something? What the hell's going on? So I just think that they need to upgrade their defense or what have you. The Austin Reeves of the world, they could play. Hachimura could play. They need to play better. I love Dalton Connect. I love that rookie. I think he's got a chance to be Rookie of the Year, even though that guy McCain's is going to do his thing in Philadelphia. But in the end, I don't see the Lakers. I mean, they could get bounced out in the first round. They could get bounced out in the play-in. But I think their best case scenario right now, based on what we're seeing, is them to get to the semifinals, man. Appreciate the call. Last call, Michael in NYC. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Michael?
Hey, Stephen. How we doing? This is
right.
Michael Spivak, people last name. I hope you're doing well and
Yes,
staying safe and being healthy.
Yes, sir. Same to you. How you doing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good. Yo, what are we thinking about Karl Anthony Towns? First of all, I'm so excited to hear from you. But second, I got so much mixed emotions because the offensive talent is there, but how much are we missing defensively, and is Mitch Robinson going to help us when he comes back, sir?
Well, you got to remember something. If you're the New York Knicks, you made this deal recognizing the fact that you were doing it for more offense and that your defense was going to be somewhat compromised. When you look at Karl Anthony Towns, he's averaging 25 and 13. Let's not throw no shade on him. He's shooting 52% from the field, 45% from three-point range, and he is averaging 25 and 13. I'm not throwing any shade on him. I'm very, very pleased with him. He's a league-leading rebounder. So I got a lot of love for Karl Anthony Towns right now. Mitchell Robinson comes back, then he's at the 5, and then Karl Anthony Towns on the 4. Precious Achiuwa comes back as well. That'll ensure that Karl Anthony Towns can play more time at the 4 instead of the 5, which is natural for him. So he'll be somebody that can defend straight up, knowing he's got help on the backside, which will make them more formidable defensively. I missed the Dante DiVincenzo's of the world, and I got to look at the rest of their crew and wonder what's going to happen here. I'm looking at Mikal Bridges. He's averaging 16, okay, but he's shooting 33% from three-point range. He'll need to shoot better than that, even though he's hitting 47% of his shots. Josh Hart, you know he's an energizer buddy. OG Anunoby, he's got 41 minutes, and the next thing you know, he can't buy a basket the next game. So I'm looking at all of those things, but McBride coming off the bench, I think he's somebody that needs to play more, okay? He's averaging about 11 points a game. He's shooting about 43% from three-point range. You need that kind of stuff. In the end, you're the New York Knicks. Here's what your problem is. We watched them last year, and we thought Philly was going to be their number one problem with a healthy Embiid, Paul George, and a Tyrese Maxey. That's not the case. Embiid ain't healthy. Paul George ain't healthy. They're severely compromised. Look at Cleveland. Look at what they've done. And they got a closer in Donovan Mitchell. I got to pay attention to that. Look at Orlando and what they've been doing without Paolo Banchero. I got to pay attention to that. So it's not going to be easy sailing for the New York Knicks, but they should still be able to beat anybody outside of the Celtics in the Eastern Conference. I appreciate your call, man. Thank you so much, Michael. All the best to you and yours. Happy holidays. Before I get on out of here for the day, let's go to some tweets, okay? At @thisgirlsays_, right? Stephen A., if Shaq and Charles had a one-on-one game today, who collapses first and why? That's a good damn question. Because, you know, I don't know what I saw Shaq do a dunk in studio the other day. He was breathing heavy. And Chuck, he ain't trying to hide that belly. He ain't trying to hide it. I love them both. They're my brothers. I'm going to have to go with Shaq. Right? Because I don't know if Barkley's going to shoot jump shots, and I know Shaq's big ass can take it to the hole anytime he wants to until he's 80. At Bray_AJ writes, Stephen A. Smith, how would you go about navigating the conversation around college with your kid? Do you believe college is important / necessary / a waste, etc.? Like in the sense of if a kid doesn't want to go to college or does, and you think the opposite may be better for them. Well, first of all, I'm always a proponent of education because education is not just about the degree. It's about you learning habits that enable you to win in life. A lot of times, the reason why college education matters to so many people is because it ensures, or shows rather, a resolve that you may have had that others may not have proven they have because they didn't do what you did to get to where they are. And so you look at it from that standpoint. That's one thing. The other thing is that usually with your college degree, you pay more. I will say this, though. It's not needed. It's preferred, but it used to be needed. That's not necessarily the case any longer. Now, as we look at it, okay, I think what we have to pay attention to is this. If you're not going to go to college, what's your plan? What kind of skill set do you have? What have you positioned yourself for? You know, all of those things come into play, and that's what we have to pay attention to. And I think as long as that's transpiring, I think that's a huge, huge deal. But you need to have some kind of plan if you're going to say, I don't want to go to college. Because when you go to college, you're telling somebody they can bet on you. When you don't go to college, you're praying somebody will bet on you. There's a difference. Let's go to this one. At Zane1104, right? Stephen A. Smith, would you chill here for the night? Fuck no. Why would I do that? I'm not chilling at a gas station in the snow. For what? And not only that, who knows what's going to come out of that darkness to try and get at me? I don't know. That doesn't look safe at all. No, that's an easy answer. Hell to the no. I would not do that. Last tweet. At Tyler_Plumber, right? Stephen A. Smith, how do you handle fame with being a parent? First of all, with your children, you're never famous when you're in their presence. They don't give a damn about that fame. They want what they want because they completely feel entitled to you. You understand? That's how that works. So where I feel the fame around my daughters is when they are ultra annoyed that people come up to me because they're preoccupying my time and attention away from my daughters, and my daughters don't like that. And then they look at me and like, oh God, who are you? Why do they come up to you before what? I mean, you're just you. I mean, what's the big deal? You see, most people who are public figures, their children act like that, particularly when they're young and when they're teenagers, okay? But that's cool because it reminds you of normalcy. You don't get caught up in the allure of being a public figure because your children don't allow it. And on top of it all, it brings incredible balance to your life because you recognize that everything isn't about fame. You're reminded of that constantly, and it gives you the balance that you need so you don't get caught up. But here's what it also does. It makes you ultra protective. And you're supposed to be that way as a parent anyway, but when you're a public figure, you start thinking about who doesn't like you, who wants to harm you, and it makes you more protective of the people that you love. And so because of that, that's how it influences it. I hope I answered that question. That's it for this edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show. I'm about to get on out of here. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. I'll see y'all in a couple of days when I'm back in the country. Until then, peace and love, everybody. God bless. I can't wait for Christmas to get here. It's a beautiful, beautiful time when Christmas season is in the air. Love it. Absolutely love it. I'm sure you will too. Go out and buy some presents. Don't wait till the last minute, okay? That's a headache. Trust me on that. Until next time, everybody, it's Stephen A. signing off. Peace and love.